Welcome to the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast with global sales trainer and professional speaker, Lois Kofi. Each week, it is her goal to share inspiration and education for you to be, do, have the best health and wealth and wisdom for your life.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. So much excitement here to have tremendous guests today with me. And my name is Lois Kofi. I'm the owner of Lois Kofi Enterprises. If you're finding this for the first time, we are all about health and wealth and wisdom. I founded this podcast actually because of the inspiration of my own health journey, my own financial challenges during the recession 13 years ago, and how I had to pivot then, and the wisdom that I gained from that. And every week I share a monologue on the first part of the week about health, wealth, and wisdom. And then at the end of the week, I bring in a special guest, an expert on either health or wealth or wisdom. And today, this is a special honor, and this is my first time going out of the norm. And normally I do these interviews on Fridays, but these guys are so amazing and so powerful and full of wisdom that I wanted to work with their schedule. So here we are on a Thursday. It's 11 a.m. Pacific time. You guys may be in India right now. I have people from Europe tuning in. I have people from Mexico tuning in, because if you know these guys, they're kind of a big deal. And I'm humbled and honored. See how awesome they are. I'm humbled and honored to have with us today Dr. Beth Misner and his beautiful wife, Beth. They are the founders of BNI, which if you don't know what that is, we'll talk about that later. They have been indirect mentors of me. I don't know if they even know this. They've changed my life. They've transformed where I am today. They helped me pivot in my business. They've helped me be a better mom, be a better wife, be a better human being, be a better spiritual being, having a human experience. And so we're going to talk a lot about why the heck they're so awesome today. And our goal is truly to be able to provide you with encouragement, hope, maybe some nuggets. So please take notes. We're going to take maybe 40-ish minutes. And so I also have a live studio audience here. We already have at least 23, maybe up to 30 people joining us live. And so if you're watching us, guys, type in #live in which city and state or country you are tuning in. And then if time allows, because these guys have so much to share, I usually have an open Q&A forum towards the end. If you're open to that, okay. So I'm going to shut my trap and get out of the way here. And I'm so excited to learn from you guys today and really share a little bit about your backgrounds, if you don't mind. Give our viewers some context, because not all viewers are from BNI. Anything you want to share about yourselves personally, and then we're going to dive into the health portion.
So for the studio audience, hello. It's not often that we have a Facebook Live studio audience, so that's fantastic. And hello to everyone who's watching live on the internet. It's great to have you here. So I'm Ivan Misner, and obviously this is my wife, Beth Misner. We've been married 31 years as of a few days ago, so been together a long time. We met in an organization that I started, BNI. It was the best referral I ever got. I met Elizabeth. She was a member of one of the chapters. And we have now 9,500 networking groups who meet all around the world every week, 9,500. Now with the COVID virus, we transitioned, literally in just a few weeks to an online platform. And so all of our groups are meeting presently online. When this is all let go and we're out of what Elizabeth once used the term, the great pause, which I've hijacked and used now. When we're out of the great pause, then we will go back to in-person meetings, but we might end up in some kind of hybrid. You never know what's going to happen after this. So anyway, we're all about referrals and generating referrals. And today more than ever, you need your network. more than ever before, you need your network. And that's what we do at BNI is we network people and generate referrals for each other.
And
That's
I'm
awesome.
Beth. I joined BNI pretty much right out of college, but I was in the health and wellness industry. So I've been in health and wellness now for over 30, almost 35 years, I would say. Yeah, 35 years.
Yeah.
And I came into BNI. I started growing chapters and launching chapters and growing regions all around the United States. And then I went home to have my babies. And so I was a stay-at-home mom for, goodness, almost 20 years because I stayed home with all of the kids. And from home, I started the BNI Foundation. And I have been running the BNI Foundation up until about 3-4 years ago when we turned everything over to a board and we became a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. And so now the board is running that and I'm involved as the spokesperson, but I've kept my feet in the health and wellness industry. I became a certified nutritionist along the way, got a black belt in martial arts and started working with the athletes on making sure that their sports nutrition was good. And then I moved into a specialization in body detoxing and cleansing, which stood me in good stead when he was diagnosed about 10 years ago now.
Yeah,
with,
eight years. Yeah.
8 years ago with cancer. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about the health issues and challenges we've both had. And I think that my expertise has really helped us be where we are today.
No question.
And the grace of God as well. Yeah.
That's amazing. I know I'm really excited. You guys fit in alignment with my journey and passion for health. I am a sales trainer. That's my profession. That's my classification, BNI, and all that. But I always say, if you lose your health, what do you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have both beat cancer, which is phenomenal. And I want to talk a little bit about that. And I also, of course, have your book here, Healing Can Be Easy, How I Healed Cancer with the Body, Mind. And I love that book and all that you went through. I wish I could just share your whole story here. We don't have enough time, so everyone get the book. I'll put that in the comments. But can you guys speak to that? Especially right now, there's so much stress in the world. And I myself personally manifested an autoimmune disease during the Great Recession, right? I lost everything. I had my own personal shelter-in-place experience because of that. And I literally, I believe, manifested that disease in my body because of stress and life and improper nutrition and all that stuff. So can you share more about your cancer journeys and this whole body-mind healing journey?
Sure. Yeah. So I'll start, but then I want Ivan to speak because he went first. He got to have the healing experience first. But we have seen firsthand how intertwined the endocrine system and the neurological system are. And so when there's stress and it affects the neurology, then hormones and a whole cascade of other signaling factors happen in the body. And you actually can regulate the genes by releasing that stress, managing the stress, being skillful with your mind to turn on the genes that code for tumor suppression. Rather than if you are really hyper nervous, depressed, anxious, or you're overworking, things like that, then you are telling the body to turn on the oncogenes or the genes that code for mutations and lead to tumors and cancer. And so we had to do a really deep dive on that. And when Ivan went first, as I said, he got to go first, he really focused on the dietary side, nutrition, managing his health through diet and nutrition, but he also made some major lifestyle changes, and I'll let him say more.
Well, I was diagnosed 8 years ago, and the doctor told me I had 6 months to get surgery. Otherwise, I would have a cascading effect, and it would escape throughout the body. And I took my time to figure out what kind of surgery I was going to do, and in doing so, I kind of had started to do some holistic medicine. I was a total Western medicine guy.
Yes, he was.
And I started doing holistic stuff just to get myself in a healthier place for when I decided what surgery to get. And it turned out that the holistic changes that I was making started to put the cancer in remission. And it was really funny because after 6 months, I went into the doctor and he actually called me and said, "You got to get in here. It's been 6 months."
You can't ignore this.
You can't ignore it, he said. So I went in and he's looking at my tests and he's like, "What are you doing? Because things are better." And I told him, it's mostly diet and a few other things. And he was like, "Yeah, it can't be that. What else are you doing?" I'm like, "That's really that." He said, "Okay, well, come back next month." So I went back next month and it was even better. And he was like, "Okay, so tell me again, what are you doing?" And I told him. And I did it for another 3 months. At the end of the year, he finally said to me, "I don't get it. I don't understand what it is, but you're in remission. I don't need to see you until sometime late next year." So I really changed my position on, and it's been 8 years. I'm still in remission. It really changed my position. I really believe that holistic medicine is an undervalued approach to medicine, and I'm much bigger believer
today. Especially if you start
today.
early. A lot of people get to the end of the road with traditional therapies, and their doctors tell them there's nothing more that can be done. And they go alternative and they heal. So when I was diagnosed, I thought, why wait? I want to start with what's going to be beneficial and helpful to my body. And I don't want to use treatments that are in and of themselves carcinogenic and create other problems for me. And so I went straight into a clinic, an alternative clinic in Mexico, went into the hospital and started getting non-FDA approved treatments that were very gentle and like vitamin C, okay, things that are not toxic and they're not going to harm me in any way. And within the first month of my treatment, my tumor started to shrink. And in 3 months, the tumor was basically dead. There was no more blood flow to the tumor. The lymph node was normal. The metastasis had normalized. And within 5-6 months from finding the tumor and learning that it was metastatic breast cancer, I was clear.
Well, I think my message to people would be have an open mind, take a look at, there is science behind this. It's not just psychobabble, pseudoscience. There is
magical thinking. It's not magical thinking.
It is not magical thinking. And there is real science. Take that route for holistic medicine. And I've certainly changed my opinion on it. I've also been pretty vocal about it. I run the world's largest networking organization, and of course people talk. So the last thing I wanted was for people to just start making up stuff, like, oh my gosh, he's dying and he's got this and he's got, so I was very candid, very quickly came out and said what was going on and what I was doing. And I found that was a great way I was the CEO when it happened. And it was really a good way to communicate to people that, hey, I got a few other things going on right now. Be patient, give me grace. And people were amazing.
I love it. I know. I remember hearing your story when you came to BNI Minnesota 20th anniversary, and that was the first time I had any knowledge of your cancer journey. So that really touched me and a lot of people. That's what I love, having authentic conversations with real people who have overcome things and are willing to share, right? Because sharing is caring, and you never know who might be listening right now, who is struggling with stress. I know I'm looking here at the book right now. It says, for you, Beth, you began to heal. You took a deeper look at your life, more than just wanting the cancer to go away. You wanted to find and discover what influences had triggered it in the first place. And you wrote a phenomenal poem. Are you open if I share it with everyone?
Of course. Yes,
okay.
Please. Time to be me.
Okay, yes, It's Time to Be Me by Beth Misner. I know you're putting together a collection of poems. I can't wait to ask you more about that. For many years, I've been many things. Some of what I have been has served the goals of others. Now I find myself in the second half of life, and it's time to be me. It's time to be the poet, the singer, the artist, the author, the meditator. It's time to set aside the to-do list, and it's time to start on the to-be list. It's time to provide the cool, refreshing oasis to those in need of inspiration and peace. When I'm true to myself, what I have to offer is more meaningful. When I'm walking in my gifts, rather, I can transmit the higher values. When I'm being real, I'm doing well and healing the body and the spirit. The gift of cancer to my life can never be underestimated. The messenger that came in the guise of a tumor whispered into my open heart, it's time to be you. And I'm really surprised I didn't cry reading that. So I want
I read one of my poems before. Thank you.
So how did you come to that? Because most people would say, even right now, like what's happening in the world, like COVID, sucks. Why did this happen? And I have cancer, why did this happen? How did you arrive at that place?
Do you know, I think I was born seeing the silver lining in things, rose-colored glasses in a sense, and I'm okay with that. So I tend to always look at a situation and say, what's the gift in this? And I've seen, if you look at your life, those experiences that were the worst experiences really forged your character and are responsible for your strengths, your greatest strengths. And I'm not afraid to die either. I don't want to die. I want to live to be 120 years old, but I'm not afraid of dying. And in the meantime, what can I learn? I'm a lifelong learner. So what can I learn from this experience? And I threw myself into it. Ivan will testify to that. I really threw myself into it.
To the point where one doctor at one point said,
You're doing too much.
You're doing too much.
You're doing way too much.
Get back a little bit. Slow down.
Yeah. But
Overachiever.
So from the very beginning, because of the types of treatments I was doing, it was like a spa retreat. Saltwater baths, infrared sauna, lying and meditating for an hour in a hyperbaric chamber capsule. I mean, it really was easy. I never felt sick. There was one supplement I had. It was green tea extract. And the dose I was given was just too high for my stomach tolerance. And I did get nauseated from that. It was the only time I felt sick the entire time. And people would say, oh my goodness, I've heard you're so sick. And I'm looking at them going, who are you talking to? Because I never felt sick.
Yeah.
Never.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Most people, don't you think they want to project their own fears upon you?
Starting with
even a step further than that, it starts with the doctor.
Yeah.
The doctor scares the heck out of people. I mean, Elizabeth was with me when one of the doctors stood up, got in my face and said, you need radiation right now. And when a medical doctor stands up and barks at you, it gets your attention. I think that what surprised him most was that I stood up face to face with him and said, I'm not going to get radiation right now. He was like, wow, okay. And I said, look, if I think I need to do that, I will. But at this point, I think there are alternatives.
Right.
And I pursued those alternatives. And I'm really glad I did. The side effects of radiation would have been horrible.
Right on. Having been in health and fitness, as always, we have to disclaim, guys, whatever we say today, we're not like trying to diagnose you.
Yeah, we're not medical doctors. So always sharing our experiences. You always talk to a medical doctor, but preferably one with a holistic link.
Functional integrative medicine. Yeah, these guys have a background in how the body works.
Yeah.
They understand the innate immune system. I have a new doctor here in Austin. I was just with him today, and he understands biochemistry and how the cells communicate with each other. He's not looking for just cutting and burning, to get rid of damaged cells. He say, how can we use what we know about cellular biology to help the cells repair?
Yeah.
And fancy words like apoptosis and angiogenesis, and all of that. And he's looking into those types of things to treat.
And he's a
illnesses.
medical doctor, an MD.
So they're out there, and we are happy to help anyone who would like to find a really great functional medicine or integrative doctor. I have a database that I have access to through my Qigong healing practice that I can find doctors that I would recommend and go to myself that I would be happy to help anyone find.
Yeah, I know you're going to, just for everyone listening, and it's kind of gone up and down, but at any point in time, we've had over 100 people on here for you guys. So that's fantastic. I know that you're really big into Qigong, Beth, and meditation. Can you speak more to that, and then maybe share the free offer that we're going to share with everyone here?
So my first book is called Jesus and the Secret, and it's about the law of attraction. And I talk in there, I'm using biblical references to validate that the law of attraction is actually a thing. It actually works. And so understanding that, before I was ever diagnosed with cancer, I used a lot of visualizations from the very beginning. The first day I was in the hospital, I was using visualizations because they're so powerful. Just like the brain doesn't know when you're seeing a replication on TV of someone being murdered or a car crash, your brain doesn't know that's not real. So when you're playing in your mind, I even did visualizations as well, and you're envisioning what is happening in the body and how the body is responding, the body moves in that direction. And so learning Qigong, which is a branch of traditional Chinese medicine, and understanding how to move the energy in my body, and not just my body, but to work with other people. I have done Qigong healing sessions for Ivan and for others, that we do have the ability to use the energy in our bodies for healing and for our highest spiritual potential and physical potential. So one of the things I want to do, because of what I've learned and the studies that I've done, is I want to share that with anyone who's interested in it. So Lois is going to share a link where I'm going to have a day and time to do a group guided meditation for the viewers of this show. And so it'll be a private group, just us, and I will lead you through a Qigong healing meditation that shows you and gives you the experience of how to use your own mind and the power of your mind, the ability of your mind to direct healing and direct the energy in your body.
And it's a free session.
It's free. Yeah, it's totally free. And Ivan, he's, like I said, it wasn't a believer in holistic medicine. He's even further removed, I think, from energy healing and that type of thing. But he said to me the other day, he said, I've seen results and I've seen you do things I can't understand and I can't explain it, but it works.
That's awesome. And just to clarify too, do you have a cap? Like how many people can attend that free session?
I have a professional Zoom account, so I don't think there's a limit on that.
I'll make sure if you're tuning in.
1,500 people.
Okay, 1,500.
Okay, so there's your cap. All right, I would love it if we got to that cap. But anyway, sign up at my healthyandwealthywise.com link, and then I'll make sure everyone gets an invite to that. Or for those of you at the end, I'll share my contact information, but we'll make sure we get that out there. So anything else on the health component, then I want to move into the wealth and wisdom of business component.
So I would just add one thing, because we are in a time where health is at the top of mind and people are frightened by the threat of becoming sick. And I would just say, if you do everything in your power now to have a resilient body, a lot of the people that are really being taken down by this current illness that's going around have had compromised physical conditions. And so if you do everything in your power now, you're providing that resilience for your body, not only for this issue, but in the future when other issues come up. Ivan has not had the flu in 8 years. He's had one baby cold that lasted a day and a half, 2 days, and normally he would get a cold and be sick for 7 days. That's not necessarily normal. The innate immune system can protect you from getting sick or being very sick. And so learn everything you can. I did a blog on Monday at bethmisner.com about free healthcare. And I'm talking about 4 things that are free that you can do to really have a resilient body and be able to weather times like this without being afraid.
Awesome. I love it. Because, the only thing to fear is fear itself, right? And that is what causes...
Fear will tank your innate immune system. It is one of those where the nervous system and the endocrine system are not harmonized, and fear will actually create a cascade of chemicals in the body that open you up to being taken down by a condition, a disease, or an illness. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
I love it. I love it. So encouraging for these times. Now switching over to BNI and how you pivoted back in 1985, and maybe it's not exactly the same as what's happening right now. However, because of COVID and just the shutdown, and there's so many unemployed people are, starting new businesses, or their sales have gone down. And I believe, and you can tell your story much better than me, but I've heard it so many times, that in 1985, you didn't mean to start a movement that has now turned into 12.2 million referrals, 270,000 members, $16.7 billion in closed business. Those numbers aren't too darn shabby. But in 1985, something happened, and you had to pivot and figure out, oh my gosh, where is my next paycheck coming? Can you share more what happened and how you started BNI?
Yeah, I was looking for referrals. I had gone to a lot of networking organizations that were incredibly mercenary, and everybody was trying to sell to me, and I didn't like those. And I went to these other groups that were very social, and I didn't like those. I wanted to have an organization. I wanted to be part of an organization that had a focus on business, but wasn't, totally transactional, and it had a focus on relationship, but wasn't totally social. And so I started my own group to focus on doing business. And what I didn't realize is that a lot of businesses are looking for referrals, and we don't teach this in colleges and universities around the world. And so people kept asking me to open up another group and another group and another group and another. And I really had my Brody moment. I don't know if you remember, Brody was the one of the characters in Jaws, where he says, "I think you're going to need a bigger boat."
I never saw Jaws. I didn't know what a Brody moment was.
So for my Brody moment was at the end of that year when I had 20 chapters, and I thought, I think this is going to be a bigger business than I anticipated. And now, of course, we have 9,500 groups. We did have to pivot again during the COVID virus because we had 9,500 in-person meetings. That's problematic. And so within just a few weeks, I'm so proud of our organization. Within just a few weeks, we transitioned all of our groups worldwide to an online platform, same basic meeting, but online. And we'll continue there until we believe it is safe to be meeting again in person. Wouldn't be surprised if some hybrid comes out of this, where there's a little bit of a combination. But so we're meeting online worldwide so people can still do business. By the way, Lois, in the last 2 months, we have online generated over $2 billion worth of business for our members.
Isn't it amazing?
Online in the middle of COVID.
That's how I feel.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
It is
astounding.
incredible. It really is.
Well, I know I've personally experienced the fruits of your labor. At first, I'll be honest, if there's any skeptics out there, I was one. I thought, BNI, time commitment, I have to show up every week. You're telling me, an entrepreneur, where to be at a certain hour? Are you kidding? And then the recession happened in 2007 and 8, and I started opening my mind to realizing I thought I knew it all, and I had kind of a feast or famine business. I was in real estate, and there's something about doing business by referral. Ever since being in BNI, I haven't had to look back. And when I tell someone, oh, I don't do all that digital marketing stuff, or I don't do all that other stuff to generate leads, 90% of my business comes from BNI. And thanks to you guys in pivoting so quickly, now, thanks to COVID, if I can say that here, and your swift adaptation with the times, I have business in the UK, in India, in working on other English-speaking countries. I'm even doing business in France with someone who may want to translate and help support me because of BNI. Because of BNI, they don't know me from Adam or Eve or Steve. I mean, why would they want to help me? It's because of what you guys have created over the last 35 years.
Yeah. Thank you. It's been Mr. Toad's wild ride.
Yes.
Do you have any?
Well,
I was just going to say, you guys have gone through, how many recessions have you?
4 or 5. And if you look at our growth, you can't even see a blip in the growth of the organization during the recessions.
It's almost as if when there has been a recession, our growth has accelerated because people are looking for a solid way to stay viable.
Yeah. When business is good, they've got a lot of competition, they join BNI. When business is bad, they're struggling, they join BNI. And so our membership has gone up year after year for 35 years in a row. There are very few companies that I know of that have 35 years of consecutive growth.
That's amazing. And I know you guys have developed many other businesses, many other streams of income. You know, do you have any advice for people who are hurting right now? People who, I know I was talking to Executive Director Tanya Peterson in the thick of it there in Minneapolis with everything that's happened recently. And again, we won't go into the inner workings of that, but there's a lot of hurting businesses, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, the whole gamut. And some businesses have actually been shut down. Do you have any advice on how they can pivot when they're in that really hurtful place?
So most people, when there is a challenge like there is today, they either get frozen in fear or they get focused by fear. I urge people to let fear focus you. You have to recognize that this is a challenge and it's very disruptive. And so it has to focus you, and it should focus you on thinking about how you can change the way you do business to not only survive but thrive during this time period. And I've seen businesses that, for all intent and purposes, should have completely shut down their business. Here's one BNI member, and it's an incredible story. She was a furniture reupholstering business. Furniture reupholster. That was her business. Well, it was not really a necessary business, an essential business. No. So she just shut down, and she was brainstorming with her BNI members, and someone said, "You've got tons of cloth. Why not start manufacturing face masks, COVID masks?" And so she flipped her business into manufacturing face masks out of all the cloth material that she had. And she started with her BNI members and said, "Hey, here are samples. Let people know." Then hospitals ordered, nurse organizations ordered, hospice ordered. And they all said, "These are like the best masks we've ever had." And so she went from furniture reupholster to making COVID masks. Everybody's different. Everybody's got a different kind of business, but you got to let this fear, let this time focus you, not freeze you. And those people who get focused are the ones who are going to pull out of this far ahead of their competition.
Yeah. I agree with you 110%. I love that. I wrote that in the comments, let fear focus you. I've never heard that before. It's brilliant. So thank you so much for that. Any other pearls of wisdom that you guys want to share specific to growing your business during difficult times, or anything else from you, Beth, on anything?
He wants to do a postscript.
So I blogged about this. You can find it on ivanmisner.com. Hope is more powerful than fear. I really believe that. Hope is more powerful than fear. Fear is easy. It's easy to get afraid.
And it's contagious.
Yeah. But the truth is that hope is way more powerful. And if you have hope and a plan, you can succeed. So that hope and a plan, and sometimes I have people say to me, "Oh, you're giving people hope. This is horrible."
False hope.
It's false hope. And I really believe that we just live in a different mind, a different state of mind. Those people who believe that, and myself, I believe that you can make a difference in life, and it begins by having that hope. Hope is hearing that voice inside you whispering that you can when everyone around you is screaming that you can't. And I am seeing many, many people who are coming out of this and their businesses surviving by having that hope, having a plan, and taking action.
So you brought up something. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Are you sure? Okay. You go. I'll remember my point.
Ivan's working on another book, and it's about the third paradigm. And he and the co-authors are taking the reader through the progression of competition, cooperation into co-creation. And my words of wisdom at this time in our social history, in the world even, is that this is the time to be co-creating. There was a really great example of this on the news here in Austin. There's a barbecue house. There are a couple of really famous barbecue houses here in Austin. They're in no danger of going anywhere. They'll still be here no matter what happens. But they took under their wing, the one barbecue house I'm thinking of, took under their wing a smaller specialty restaurant that had a really great following for their pretzels, homemade, delicious salted pretzels and beers and things like that. And so they brought them in with them and they co-created a new model for the restaurants, for both of them to work together so people could come and get their barbecue. They could go home with salted pretzel and some special beer that this other restaurant marketed. Yeah. And it was a phenomenal way that somebody who wasn't in danger of failing could bring someone in and help them co-create with them so that they were safe as well. So we were on Necker Island in February, just as all of the health issues were coming up. And Richard Branson, he's the owner of Necker Island, he was sharing with Ivan about the circles concept. And I think you want to share that because this idea of the circles is so relevant with everything that's happening, the civil unrest, the fear with the great pause that's causing for folks when this idea of the circles.
Yeah, I interviewed Branson, and it's also on my blog. Look for a video interview. He talks about it in his book, Finding Your Virginity, where the idea of the circles is first you have to take care of yourself. You have to be in a healthy place, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And then you take care of those around you, your closest family members. And then you take care of, the circle gets larger and larger and larger. You take care of the people that you work with, the people who work for you. You take care of the people in your city. You engage in the city. You engage in the state. You engage in the country, and then globally. And not everybody can do that, but that's the idea, is that you work the circles that you are capable of working to build a better world and a better life.
And we kind of innately did this with the BNI Foundation because it was after another sensitive incident in our social setting in the United States that we formed Business Voices as an answer to what can we do in our circle to help inner city children get a great education. And along the way, as we formed Business Voices, we learned that it's not just inner city schools that need help. It's the suburban schools that need help. The rural schools need help. The schools that are meeting under a tree in Africa with not even a roof over their heads. They don't have desks. They don't even have toilets. So what can we do with our circles? And Business Voices isn't meant to be Beth and Ivan reaching out to all these people and doing this, but what can you do in your community to help the children in your community that need some type of support, and how can business help and create that conduit? That was in a response to civil unrest that was happening how many years ago? Six years ago or so, right, in St. Louis. And a whole movement sprang up from that's focused on this idea of circles. What can the chapter members do and the businesses locally do? And then what can you do regionally? What can you do on a statewide level? And what can you do in an entire country?
Well, you guys, what I was going to say earlier, I mean, you reaffirmed that, the idea behind Mastermind and Napoleon Hill, 1 + 1 = 3. So that co-creation and that collaboration and that giver's gain is really what you guys are all about.
Yes, it is.
Yes, thank you.
If anybody has any questions, we have some time. It's right now. It's 1:38 Central Time. Just giving you guys context because I know your schedule is full. If anybody has any questions that you'd like to pop into the chat, I can field them for you. And I know that Beth was going to offer up the half-hour group meditation. Dr. Ivan, was there anything else that you wanted to share as a thank you for people attending today?
Yeah, sure. I'll have you post a coupon code and a link. But if people go to Misner audio programs, the audio program Entrepreneurs, Everyday Leaders, I'm going to give Lois a coupon code that will allow you to download that entire program for free through the end of June. So it'll be good through the end of June. I'll give Lois the coupon code and the direct link, but it's the Entrepreneurs Everyday Leaders series.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you guys again. Giving is living, and you guys do it very well. I don't see any questions yet. So do you guys have anything
Don't
else?
Be shy. Ask us.
Yeah. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Do you guys care? Maybe even share your vision for BNI or anything looking forward. Hope springs eternal, and I know you guys have a huge vision. Oops, wait a minute. Let's hear. Oh, this is just a comment, just so you have feedback based on your hybrid conversation. Is she loves her BNI chapter, and meeting from home has been better for her. I will tell you, as a mom, I'm not going to lie, I love BNI online. She would love the option to continue in a group online. So that was just more of a comment.
Yeah, well, I think it's very likely that eventually we will have some kind of hybrid, if not immediately after everyone's released from the great pause. I think, and I wrote about this 2 years ago, that I predicted that the future of face-to-face meetings would be online. And I did it in an article at entrepreneur.com. And I said the reason for that is that technology is evolving. Mixed reality technologies, holographic images, those kinds of things are becoming so predominant that within 5 to 10 years, I said, we will have a lot of networks like BNI meeting online. My crystal ball wasn't good enough to see the COVID virus, which happened much sooner than I expected. But I'd like to think that by planting that seed within the organization, which by the way was really controversial when I brought it up. It was like, oh no, tell us that's not so. How could you say that? And so just planting that seed, I'd like to think may have made it a little easier for us to make that transition 100%. I mean, it wasn't even by question. So I think it's possible that we'll end up with some kind of hybrid.
Awesome. Great. We're getting more questions. So this is awesome. Susan from Florida says, I don't have a BNI near me. Is there a way to know when there's a potential chapter opening near me? And I don't know if you want to answer that too. I mean, right now, everything's online. I know you probably can't tell us when or how or what that's going to look like in that shift. Can you answer that question?
Yeah, go to BNI.com, find a chapter near you. You do want to get into a chapter that is geographically near you, because at some point, we're talking about doing everything's on the table. Straight online to a hybrid where you meet in person once a month or you meet in person 3 times a month, whatever it is. So it is geographically anchored. So find a chapter that's near you, although now you'll be meeting everybody there online. So go to BNI.com and search for a chapter near you.
Awesome. Next question. How do you feel that the lockdown has changed BNI? Do you think it has made it more international or global, and how?
Well, we were already in 70 countries. I think that what it has already done is it has allowed people from one country to easily visit chapters from another country. I see many, many BNI chapters that have visitors from around the world. So it's always been international, but it's always been local. It's a global network, local business. So it's always been the local businesses with an occasional visitor from another country in person. Now the online, we had a lot of people visiting from all around the world. So it certainly feels way more international because of the online transition.
Yeah.
I love it. I have to tell you, I have a new business partner in India as a result of this
That's
BNI
wonderful. That's
online.
great.
So I'm loving it. Question: how much of your time? This is from Leanne Lyon. How much of your time now do you personally work from home versus working around the world? And I don't know if COVID has changed that.
Well, COVID has dramatically changed that. Obviously, I was usually about 3 or 4 years ago. I built this. This is my office in my home, and so I work from here. My job now with BNI is I'm sort of the Colonel Sanders of BNI. I'm the spokesperson.
You're much more handsome than Colonel Sanders.
Thank you. So I'm sort of the spokesperson for BNI.
Okay, I'm not sure if he paused or if it's me. Can you guys see me okay? If you guys can comment, can you still hear and see everything? Let me know you guys are still there. We may be having a technical issue. Hello, hello. Okay, they paused. Okay. Okay, cool. Hopefully they'll be able to get back on and join us. This happens from time to time. I'm so grateful. We were just about to wrap up, you guys. So my hope is that they'll be able to join us and get back in. I'm going to remove them for the moment. If I see them get back in, I'll take this moment just to kind of let you guys know what we normally do as every Friday. I have an interview. Today was a special interview, again, focusing on health, wealth, and the wisdom of the Misners. Tomorrow, if you haven't already registered at healthyandwealthyandwise.com, I will also be here tomorrow, actually, on this. If you're on my fan page on Facebook, that's where I normally stream. I was streaming kind of everywhere today because of the special nature of our guests. But tomorrow I'll have actually another BNI member and director from Indiana, Lanny Polan, who's a personal trainer. He's had to pivot his business into online fitness as well. And so with that, he's going to be talking about how to be and stay healthy and fit. And then the following week, I'll have a conversation on wealth with actually a bankruptcy attorney from here locally in Southern California, in John Given. I'm just going to see if we can get them back on the line. If anybody else has any other questions, otherwise we will probably be wrapping it up here. Does anybody else have any other questions? Feel free to comment. Thank you guys for being here today. I will be having a post-production recording uploaded into YouTube and also emailed out to you. And remember that Dr. Ivan Misner will have a coupon code with his Misner audio programs. I will get that from them and email it out to you again, as long as you're registered in with my email. And then also Beth Misner is going to be having a amazing free half-hour meditation class that you guys can participate on Zoom. Date will be determined at a later time. Seeing if they are going to jump back in. The beauty of technology. Thanks, guys, for staying on. The original goal was to go for 45 minutes, so we have completed our time. I was just hoping to be able to say a proper goodbye with them on the screen. Just going to see if they can hop on to say goodbye. Otherwise, I'd love to hear what you guys liked best. Here they are. Let's see. Awesome.
Here we had a technical problem down in Ivan's office, so I came upstairs to jump on the Wi-Fi here at the house. So sorry about that.
It was great. You guys looked adorable, even frozen on the screen. It was, I don't know how you do it. But we were just, I was just reminding them about your free gifts. And did you want to close out with anything else here today as we say goodbye?
Sure. This is my message. Love each other. Love each other. What we're going through, it doesn't matter if it's related to the COVID or social unrest. Just be grateful for one another and love each other. We love you. We love you all so much.
Sorry for that technical glitch. Our internet just went down here in my office. So
it's all good, right? That's the beauty of technology. And you pivoted and you still made it happen so you could say goodbye. And I know, Beth, don't you have another book coming out soon too? Do you want to say anything about that? And then Dr. Ivan, if you have anything else to close out And Beth, I think you might be on mute.
A plane was going over. I hadn't quite gotten all the way up to the house when I rang through. Yeah, I have a new book coming out. The title is called Out of the Church, 7 Steps for Living Beyond the Cross. And the book is a story. It's a story about a lady named Helen who discovers that she can and actually does leave the church, but becomes a better Christian.
Wow, that's amazing. I want to pick that up for sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Dr. Ivan, any other closing thoughts?
Oh, listen, I've always got a number of books going on. Probably my next one is a book called Infinite Giving, which is about the 7 principles of giver's gain, and people will see that pretty soon. My latest book was Who's in Your Room, about the secret of creating your best life. It's such a great book, and it's a self-development book. I really urge people to take a look at it. And I'll give you the code by email, Lois, for the free download.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for your generosity. And we didn't even get to the Who's in Your Room either, but the depth of that book is so profound. I use it a lot with my BNI chapters and even sharing it with my children. So like I said, you guys have impacted my family for generations to come. So
Excellent.
Thank you. That's a little intimidating, but I appreciate you saying that.
awesome. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate you going even a little bit over and navigating the technology challenges. But in the meantime, everyone stay healthy. Wealth is not all about money. It's about, like she said, love and relationships. And who can you be kind to today? Who can you mirror their greatness in these difficult times? We love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, and be well and be safe. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Lois.